While it may seem hard to believe, we are well into 2018. That means sooner rather than later, WWE 2K19 will be on all our radars to let us know what it intends to do this year. Who will be the cover star? Who will be the big pre-order bonus? How big will the roster be? And will there be any sweeping changes? These are just some of the questions that we have, but more importantly than that are the desires that exist deep down in our hearts that we're desperate to have met. Then and only then will the game tick all the boxes we want it to, and that's what life is all about. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is the 10 most wanted new features in WWE 2K19. Number 10, stock library of WWE music. It almost seems nuts this hasn't happened yet, given that WWE owns all of its own music. Considering how much emphasis is put on the creation suite in all of the games, this just seems like a huge oversight because there's no option to pack an entrance music along with the creator wrestler. We're sick to death of downloading Demolition and seeing them walk to the ring without that classic theme. Former WWE Music man Jim Johnston also penned some absolute crackers, so it'd be nice to see them included. And yeah, obviously 2K can't put every single one in there, but when we're talking about the Legion of Doom or the New Age Outlaws, there's no excuse frankly. Having some sort of media library in 2K19 could be the way forward. You've just got to choose 20 to 30 famous tracks, make sure there's a decent enough variety, and allow fans to upload their own from WWE's Spotify account. That's just an example, naturally. There's one that could work. If nothing else, we just need Real American to accompany a fan-made Hogan as he makes his way down the aisle. That's it, with shallow folk. Number 9, a retro mode. So don't hold your breath for this one, because even I admit it's a bit weird. But wouldn't it be lovely if when you loaded up 2K19, there was the option for a simpler control scheme, or even one that was made famous in an older wrestling game? It's fair to say that 2K18's controls could be a bit fiddly, especially if you're not used to them, and it'd be very welcoming to just allow people to use what they know, or at least remember. Now the issue straight away is that 2K will want to follow through on its way of doing things, and that makes sense. It's their game, they can do whatever they want. But if there was some way to have one button for moves, one for strikes, and so on, I tell you, a lot of lapsed fans may come flooding back. If you don't want to muddy the waters too much, that's what a hypothetical retro mode could be for. It's worth thinking about, as it really could be very appealing. Number 8, in-crowd brawling. 2K18 did a nice job in bringing back the specific areas where you could brawl backstage and whatnot, because everyone loves that. It's like rejoicing in the thrills of the Attitude Era all over again. But one thing is never enough, which is why in WWE 2K19 it'd be nice to have the ability to brawl wherever you wanted, like those real wrestlers. That would mean street fights that actually take place on the streets, or Falls Count Anywhere epics that could very well end up in amongst the fans. They do this in reality where there's an actual risk to a fight being in the audience, so in the fake world of gaming, there is no excuse. WWE video games have scaled back on this out-of-the-ring mayhem, and that's a shame, especially because so many people remember it from the likes of Here Comes the Pain, or even WCW Backstage Assault. And that was shit, and I mean shit. Number 7, listenable commentary. As much as 2K wanted to tell us that commentary had improved last year, well, it wasn't exactly a huge step forward now, was it? In fact, it still sounded a little bit like there was a huge disconnect between what was happening in the ring, what the people behind the booth were saying. So, straight up, listenable commentary is a must for 2K19, mostly so it can give you that buzz during your big WWE moments. It's hardly as if it would be a stretch for the developer either, because we've heard what they can do in their own game. The announcing in NBA 2K18 is fantastic, so whatever you're doing there, do here too. Please. The real problem is if it doesn't improve, players will do what they always do, which is simply turn it off. That just feels like a real shame all around. Number 6, voice acting for major stars. On the same point, it's about time we saw some attempt at voice acting in the WWE video game again. No one expects everyone to have a voice because of how large the roster can be, but major stars like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and The Miz should have a couple of lines at least. Before you get confused, no, I don't mean they should follow the same direction as those awful pre-match comments from Attitude well back in the day. That sucked then and would be even worse today. We're not advocating those make a return. I just mean a few lines that make 2K19's biggest modes like Universe and My Career feel alive. It's not like we don't have the technology, we definitely do. I'm literally using it right now to record my, wait for it, voice. It's also important if 2K are going to continue pushing the promo engine, which has seemed very important the last couple of years. Eventually, you're gonna need some of this magic. Number 5, war games. No messing around, match types that need a return include Inferno and Casket. No arguing that one. I don't care how dumb they are, I want them in my digital WWE experience. And on that note, while we're unnecessarily demanding things, it'd be nice to see war games make its debut now too. WWE are well and truly on board with that concept, given it was featured in NXT last year, and custom arenas are even available to download via community creations. With that in mind, surely this is a must for 2K19. It would make a proper splash if it were to be definitely one of the key announcements. People wanted to see war games happen in the company. That happened, so now they're going to want to play it in their games. Simple. Number 4, GM mode. Technically, GM mode counts as something new for 2K. They weren't the ones overseeing WWE's video game output when we were playing General Manager on Raw and SmackDown before. Back then, it was THQ who delivered one of the best modes in series history, before it got canned right after SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. GM mode has so much potential, that's doubly so now because of what the PS4 and Xbox One can do. If Universe was ditched in favour of GM, few would complain because even those that thought it was a bad move would soon see that the latter is just better than the former. The mode makes sense too due to WWE's splitting of the brands. Throw NXT in there as a proving ground for aspiring general managers and you'll have one hell of a feature to pimp out. Number 3, complete editing abilities. Being able to mess around with different attire slots for on-disc WWE stars is a nice touch that 2K have thankfully kept in recently. The developers are dedicated to giving people as much freedom to create their own WWE experience as humanly possible. But why stop at changing the colour of Shinsuke Nakamura's ring gear or putting a new t-shirt on Seth Rollins? Imagine being able to have complete control over how WWE looked. If 2K were feeling brave, they could let gamers tweak absolutely everything in the game, including colour schemes for major shows, haircuts, and tattoos. That's player freedom, which in many ways is what the franchise is most known for these days. Best of all, it wouldn't take too much effort. 2K18 already allowed us to change wrestler entrances, movesets, and attires. Surely deciding that The Miz should bring back his faux hawk or decreeing that Monday Night Raw is due a set change is all part of the fun. Number 2, females in my career. We'd be very surprised if 2K19 doesn't include some sort of female career mode. Unless the developers have been living under a rock, they'll know that women are more valuable to WWE's product than ever before. Ronda Rousey is in the mix, the Women's Rumble went on last at the show, we ain't playing around no more. This obviously means that 2K19 needs a female my career, otherwise it'll represent a missed opportunity for the series, while also utterly ignoring reality. With rosters on Raw, SmackDown and NXT, it's hardly as if there's a lack of numbers in the female rank nowadays. If that doesn't suit, maybe 2K could just do away with my career altogether and go in a different direction, such as number 1, a proper story mode. Some long-term fans of WWE video games would gladly trade Universe mode and my career for a fully fleshed proper story mode in 2K19. It is long overdue. Aside from the showcases 2K used to do, there hasn't been a genuine story mode in any WWE video game in years. The simple joy of picking anyone on the roster, choosing which brand they belong to and living out a few years of their career is lost on an entire generation of gamers, and that really makes no sense. THQ shut your mouth and here comes the pain with the apex of these story-driven modes, and others did it well too. But far too often nowadays, everything just breaks into match, stop, repeat. That gets really dull. You think that somebody would at least pitch this, given that the WWE product is basically all one big narrative, so it's time to bring that back to the games. Please and thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also there's probably more content floating up above my head, so why not check that out as well? Could be a laugh. Probably. 6 out of 10.